Howdy everyone, Rogers here. Two things. First, I want to introduce the newest addition to our pack. This is Sisu. Sisu is a wolf dog. He's just a puppy. He just turned 10 months. He came to us about 6 weeks. He was a rehome. So he came to us about 6 weeks after Atlas passed. He needed a home and he didn't have one, and we took him. And he's become a really good addition to our pack. So he's 10 months old today. We've had him since he was about 8.5 months. So he's a big boy. I haven't got him embarked yet, but his brother, who we follow on Instagram, just tested back at about 50%. So imagine he's somewhere close to that, high 40s, low 50s, or something like that. But he's a good boy. And we're gonna teach him to meditate. Okay, so that's the second part of what this video, this short little video is for. A lot of people have been asking for me to talk about more in depth about meditation because they're confused out there in the marketplace. There's so many approaches to meditation. So I'm going to break it down real simple for you. The most radical, effective way to get still and radically change your life for the better. So think of meditation. There's two different types of meditation. There's thousands of approaches and methods, but there's passive and there's active. Passive is when you're sitting still somewhere in a room alone doing nothing, or out in the woods, which we are. We're at camp. Many of you know that we've been on the road living now for 9 years, off-grid most of the time, out in the woods with our pack of wolf dogs. This is number 4. But passive is when you're sitting alone doing absolutely nothing. And I say that that's really the beginning of the work, because that gives you the lay of the land. What do I mean by that? You begin to understand what's actually happening in the body-mind structure when you take the time passively to meditate. And then the second part, active, is when you're engaging in life, when you're up moving, engaging with people, engaging with career, work. You want to carry what you learn in passive into active. So put simply, what we're trying to get is a place of centeredness or stillness within the body-mind structure while we're engaging with life. So the first thing that you want to do in passive, and you can do this lying down, you can do it standing up, and then you could eventually take it into active while you're walking. But the best place to do it so you don't fall asleep when you're lying down is to sit in a chair, a comfortable chair with your spine straight. So as you can see, I'm sitting with my spine straight in this chair. The big mistake that people make is they want to jump into some kind of technique, whether it's a breathing technique or some kind of movement technique or some kind of rocking or squeezing of the bandhas or the locks in the body. All that's fine and dandy. You can gain peak experiences from it. But what you're really ultimately trying to do with all meditation techniques is you're trying to contact source, spirit, God, Shen, stillness. You're trying to get to the place that's beyond thoughts, beyond emotions, beyond physical sensations, ultimately beyond patterns. Because it's the mental, emotional, physiological patterns that are defining your life and the direction. Most of us get into meditation because we don't like the direction of our life. So that mental and emotional and physical pattern, there's a whole bunch of them, and those make up your persona, your identity. So ultimately, if we want to get into meditation because we want to change our life, it's because something's wrong with our identity, our persona. So the quickest approach to getting beyond those patterns that make up our persona into stillness, where we can make real change, lasting change, and manifest something that's more ideal in our lives, is simply learning to surrender or letting go of attention. So when we get into these inner locks that we're doing, or some kind of technique of breathing, we're actually reinforcing the persona. We're actually subtly creating a spiritual persona. So ultimately, all of those things should aim at getting us to surrender attention into stillness. Because that's the problem right now. If you're trying to manifest something new in your life and you're having a difficult time, it's because your attention's already locked into underlying patterns. Your attention is being governed by these underlying patterns that make up your persona. So what you want to learn to do is to surrender attention. Think of attention is like a magnifying glass. And what you're trying to get to is source, Shen, spirit, and that's the sun. Now imagine where if you've done this before, you probably as a small child, I have, you've taken that magnifying glass, you've aimed it up at the sun, and you've pointed it on a leaf or a piece of paper. You can ignite that piece of paper. In the same way, your persona is that magnifying glass, or I should say your attention. The persona is directing the magnifying glass. You want to get beyond the persona where you can get to source, which is the sun, so that you can create or set things on fire. You can create like that. But you have to get through these patterns. The quickest way to get through these patterns is not to govern the process. That is simply just let go with attention. You can close your eyes or even leave them open. I just leave them open. So first, find a comfortable place to sit. Sit straight, sit still, and just pay attention. Place your tongue to your palate and just breathe slowly. You don't have to pay attention to your breath. You don't have to try to correct your breath. In fact, it's best if you don't, like I said before. Just allow attention to jump back and forth. It's going to race all over. When you'll see attention, it'll think of thoughts. It'll start focusing on places in the body. It'll focus on things that it hears or sees outside of itself. I think he's finally getting it, isn't he? Look at him. Sisu's finally getting it. We named him Go, so if you want him to sit still, Go might not be a good name. So watch, your mind's jumping around like a cat on a hot tin roof. Don't do anything with it. Just watch it. In the watching, you still it. Just every time your mind jumps around, just watch it. It keeps bringing it back center. It's going to jump around a little bit more. Just watch it. Just allow yourself to breathe. Don't try to breathe. Your body knows how to breathe. And I think about all the breathing exercises that people promote out there. I'm like, your body knows how to breathe. You don't need to tell it how to breathe. It's one of the most natural processes in your whole body. It knows how to breathe. Just pay attention. That's it. That's all I had to really say, is just pay attention. Just keep paying attention. Every time you pay attention, you're taking your attention off something that it's obsessing about. You're literally taking it off of what the patterns are directing it to. Fear directs attention. Desire directs attention. Just let it go. When you let it go, you're literally paying attention. That's the irony, the paradox. When you let go of attention, you're finally paying attention. Just keep letting it go, bringing it back center. Attention's out there, bring it here. Attention, here. Attention, here. Every time you get attention back here, you're getting into stillness. Now, you're going to run into some roadblocks when you keep bringing it back in here. Those roadblocks are those subconscious and unconscious, hardwired mental, emotional, and physiological patterns. And they're not going to feel really good. First, you'll uncover a restless, irritable discontent. Just a feeling of, Just allow breath to do what it's supposed to do and keep bringing attention back. Whatever comes up, keep bringing attention back. If you feel like you get overwhelmed by what comes up, feel free to seek a therapist. Feel free to talk to a friend. Whatever you feel's right for you. This is not medical advice. Just keep slowing the breath. Just let it go and paying attention. Now, how often should you do this? As much as possible, until you're doing it automatically when you're engaged in everything else, when you're active, and then it becomes mindful or active meditation. Do it until it becomes automatic. Do it until attention remains stabilized in the core, in the central nervous system. In fact, it stabilizes so much that you lose sense of where attention is. It looks like Sisu couldn't last that long, but if you can last a little bit longer than Sisu, I'd say you're doing pretty good. For a puppy, I think he did good. He sat down for a little bit and he meditated. And now we're going to work with it a little bit more, but I think he's had enough. All right. Happy meditation.